And welcome to Loyola Blakefield on Jerry Savage Court, where the Patriots of John Carroll will take on the Loyola Dons in a BCL matchup.
Obviously, three major players to look for on John Carroll: Emmanuel Quigley, Montez Mathis, and Kadir Ismail. Montez Mathis, number 93 on ESPN Top 100, number 16 shooting guard in the class. He's putting up 26 points per game, 8 rebounds, and just 1 assist. Other guy, big man center, Kadir Ismail, standing at a good 6'7", 220 pounds. He's averaging 7 points per game and 7 rebounds per game.
And then, of course, this star of the game, Emmanuel Quigley, the number 12 overall player in the nation, committed to Kentucky, will be playing under John Calipari next year. Huge game for the Dons, big matchup.
Obviously, huge game for the Dons. We talked to Coach Duvali before the game to get a look at what they're going to do defensively. He said they're going to keep rotating their guys on defense. Throw in J.J. Hallaby, throw in Cam Shaw, Trillian Young. Keep it rotating. Find out what works to guard such a big guy like Emmanuel Quigley with that 6'8" wingspan. You want to limit the shots that he can take because he's deadly from the three-point. Make him take contested shots, especially with Montez Mathis. You can't let him get hot early because he can drop 30 points in the blink of an eye. If he gets hot, he's going to stay hot. A key for the Dons is going to be preventing that.
So offensively, the key for the Dons is keeping the ball in their possession. You have to limit turnovers. The Dons are going to be pressured from the outset. John Carroll, look for them to press, look for them to put traps on. They're going to try to force the Dons into making mistakes. So key for the Dons, keep the ball in their hands, and it should be good.
That's going to wrap up the pregame. We'll be back after the break to bring you the live matchup.
Savage Court on the campus of Loyola Blakefield. Tonight's matchup between the John Carroll Patriots and your Loyola Dons. And now for the starting lineups for the visitors from John Carroll. A 6'3" senior, number 3, Emmanuel Quigley. coaches, Reed, Paul, Hessel, Howell, and Elliott. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for the homestand Dons from Loyola Blakefield. A 5'11" junior, number 3, Pregame. A 6'3" junior, number 10, Trillion Young. A 6'5" senior, number 11, Chid Nake. A 6'2" senior, number 4, Cameron Shaw. Finally, a 5'9" senior, number 2, Jen Halliday. All is coached by John Carroll and assisted by Matt Carroll and Ellis Ford.
Welcome back alongside Hayden Young. I'm Zach Bollinger. It is absolutely electric out here. We have a packed house as the Patriots from John Carroll take on your Loyola Dons.
Absolutely packed student section here. Everybody excited for this matchup, not just to see the Loyola Dons, but I'm sure to see this guy Quigley in action.
Of course, Mayo Quigley, as we said before, number 3 point guard in the nation, number 12 overall, going to Kentucky next year. Definitely looking to maybe try to do a one and done, head right towards the NBA.
It'd be something to see that.
Definitely someone to watch. But quickly, as we said earlier, he's not the only threat John Carroll has.
Yeah, we take a look at a guy like Montez Mathis. He's actually statistically, he's going to be a little bit better than Quigley, averaging 26 points per game and 8 rebounds.
Now you have to also think part of that due to Quigley getting so much attention as John Carroll wins the tip off, get the ball down to Quigley, and immediately they're going to get it down in the post.
And I think that's going to be a reoccurring problem for the Dons tonight. They have a guy, Kadir Ismail, 6'7", 220. He's their low post guy going against Chidnake, who comparatively is a little smaller body. Where it's going to be interesting to see how if they influence Quigley to feed the ball down low to get that mismatch.
So definitely there we saw Ismail hit the first shot of the game.
And that's going to be the first
block
foul.
Shot. So Dons will foul here. Definitely something you have to be careful with if you're the Dons. You do not want to get in foul trouble early on.
Certainly in this first minute, both teams with a really high-intensity, up-tempo offense. Come to think, is that going to lead to turnovers for Loyola, something that they desperately wanted to limit in the pregame?
There you go. Already you're seeing the impact Quigley has on the game. They try to go for the alley-oop, but something to look out for. Emmanuel Quigley picks up a foul less than a minute into the game.
Yeah.
Definitely something that the Dons want to pursue. If you can get him 2 fouls in the first quarter, you're starting off the game well.
And we could see here the John Carroll defense already running that high-pressure three-quarter court press, trying to force Loyola to make turnovers. And we saw it when we interviewed Coach Duvali prior to the game. He said that was going to be a problem because the Dons might force some turnovers because John Carroll does run a pretty effective press.
So there you see they're trying to get the ball into Cameron Shaw's hands. Definitely a good sign. Ball will be tipped out of bounds by Quigley. So Dons will keep possession. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. At this point, you're just looking for some sort of quick play here.
Dons still have a 0 on the court. They want to give it to their guys like Cam Shaw and J.J. Halliday to get them started, get them hot quick. Because like Montez Mathis of the Patriots, if you get them hot, they're going to stay hot.
And there you're going to see a turnover by the Dons. Cam Shaw probably trying to do a little bit too much there. No. If you're the coach, you kind of just want to see your guy go up with that. But definitely understand, trying to make the extra pass. Feels earlier in the shot clock. Totally understand it with that amount of time left.
It was a high-intensity play, and I give him credit. It was a good effort.
So Quigley gets the ball back up top.
And we saw JJ about last week when they played Our Lady of Mount Carmel. JJ was about 7 from 9 from the three-point arc. They got him hot. He was the key in the Dons' victory over the Cougars of Mount Carmel just last week.
So here come the Dons playing some defense. Lucky bounce for John Carroll gets them the 2 points. But something to really look out for. J.J. Hallaby, all of 5'9", definitely not the biggest guy on the court as he pulls up right there and drains the mid-range shot.
Size doesn't matter when you're that wide open. I'm not sure what John Carroll's defense was doing on that possession.
There's a saying, it doesn't matter the size of the dog in the fight. All that matters is the size of the fight in the dog, and that applies to JJ perfectly. Even there, when he picks up the foul, that's a 5'9" guy at his tallest going up against a 6'7" guy and taking it out of his hands.
Especially defensively, Emmanuel Quigley coming in. He's 6'3", about average size, but his wingspan 6'8". That's a 5-inch difference. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out with a smaller guy like JJ guarding him, how that's going to factor in.
So Ismail is going to miss his first free throw. They're looking to convert one of the two here. Definitely a break for the Dons. We get Ismail down in the post. If he can only hit one free throw, you're going to take that.
And Kadir Ismail's an interesting guy because while he's on the basketball court right now, you can expect to see him next year on the football field throwing the football for Villanova.
As he's going to miss the shot there. And they're going to give the ball to the Patriots there.
Going back to Ismail, he's actually a Division I commit for Villanova. So it's interesting how maybe football is going to factor in a little bit to the basketball.
Definitely
a little more physical.
Something interesting. He is former Ravens wide receivers, Quadri Ismail's son. So definitely you can see the connection to football. But you also see 6'7". Guy's got to be on the basketball court at some point.
We just saw how he exercised his size over Chidnake there, able to get a little hoop action.
And the Dons are going to draw the foul. So definitely huge. That's going to be on Ismail. Probably a lucky break for John Carroll because I did see that Quickly was involved in that. Would have been a huge blow if he gets 2 fouls right there. That means over the next pretty much full game only has 3 fouls.
Only 3 minutes in, we have a good 5 total fouls from both teams. It's a high-intensity matchup. You're wondering if foul trouble is going to play a factor late into the game in the fourth quarter crunch time, how that's going to affect, maybe if you get a guy like Ismail if he gets fouled out.
And the Dons will miss both their free throws there as Dubem Nake checks in. And we're going to see the Dons right there forcing pressure. Interesting. Dubem Nake and Chid Nake, the brothers, Chid a senior, Dubem a junior, both the two biggest guys on Loyola, both coming into the game, definitely trying to play size to an advantage as we see a hard screen there set by Chid.
I think that screen was definitely in response to John Carroll's added intensity. They transitioned from that 3-quarter press into a full court press, and Loyola so far hasn't really been able to adequately respond.
And there you're going to see a little bit of a mismatch, but they're going to kick it right out to Quickly. And the Dons, if you're giving Quickly 10 feet to pull up from 3-point range, John Carroll could run the score up to 90 tonight.
And Quigley, while he's a great outside shooter, statistically, he's more of a balanced point guard, more of like that Lonzo Ball type, sort of lower in point averages, higher in those rebounds and assists. Like we said, he's averaging 20 points per game, still extremely high, but he's got those 4 rebounds and 5 assists. He's more of a complete all-around point guard.
Especially, when you think of top recruits in the nation, you think of Zion Williamson averaging close to 40 points a game down in South Carolina. Zion Williamson, the number 2 recruit in the nation. Good, actually friends with Quigley, so Zion making a commitment soon, so that'll be interesting.
We saw earlier, Emmanuel Quigley actually tweeted out Zion Williamson, asking him to come to Kentucky. Much anticipated announcement from Zion Williamson tomorrow, announcing where he's going to go play. Be interesting to see if him and Quigley become teammates under John Calipari.
You're telling me that Quigley and Williamson could become teammates? That's something ringing national championship down in Kentucky.
I'll tell you, if that happens, I'm filling on my March Madness bracket like that.
And there we go as Mathis welcomes himself to the game with a breakaway dunk. As we said, Loyola Dons, 2 things that went wrong there. You gave them the opportunity. They turned it over. That was the first mistake. But then you gave Mathis a fast break, and we said you have to limit him. If he gets hot, it's over.
That's where Montez Mathis feeds, is the speed and the power that allows him to get into transition, to get open looks like that. He's averaging about 2 steals per game, which is pretty good for a 2 guard. And you can't let him get hot in those open transition. He just had a free lane. You can't let that happen.
Definitely. And as J.J. Hallaby will get the ball in the backcourt, you have to mention, usually Loyola basketball game, you got 15, 20 people in the student section. We're pushing maybe 50, 60 tonight. So definitely a huge up for the Dons. Quickly definitely impacting that as we have an absolutely full house for the Dons.
And Loyola's not really adequately responding to the aggressiveness and intensity that John Carroll is contributing to the game. They're running the full court press, and on offense, they're being more aggressive, getting the ball down low, using the size of their advantage. And Coach D is certainly stressing that on the timeout that they just called.
Definitely. That's 2 timeouts taken by the Dons in the first 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Not what you want to do if you're Coach D. But, as we said, it's only 4 minutes, 12 seconds into the game. There is time. Down by 11, 13 to 12. You got to be telling your guys right now, okay, we're down on the scoreboard, but we got to be calm, play your game. This isn't fourth quarter yet. This isn't
it's still real early.
Threes. This is where you got to just play your game, stick to the game plan, and try to win this game.
Still super early in the game. Certainly not the start Loyola wanted. They're already down by double digits. But that's something that you had to talk about pregame. Coach D stressing to his players is that you can't lose the intensity and you can't lose that drive, even if you're down, especially going against recruits like Mathis and Quigley.
Yeah, and then you also have to think mental game, seeing, wow, we have 2 top 100 basketball players on the court here, down by 11 already. Loyola can't get into the game where they're thinking, oh boy, we could already be out of this.
As soon as that happens, they lose the game.
As Coach Baker for the Dons as quickly pulls up a 3, he's going to miss that. The Dons are going to get, and we're going to get a travel called on the John Carroll Patriots. That is going to be number 11.
Yavuz Gutlikin. Not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but he looks like a good player.
Definitely. But as I was saying, as Coach Baker, strength and conditioning coach for the Dons, said, we talked to him before the game. We said, Coach, you out here to see the big name players play? As Connor Hepting nails a 3, cut it to an 8-point game. Coach Baker looked at us and said, guys, I understand that they got big name players, but I don't care who they have. I just want to win the game. And you got to think that's how Loyola's got to think in this game. Win the game. It doesn't matter who John Carroll puts out. At the end of the day, it's 5v5 out there. All numbers are even. Yes, they have the big name recruits, but you can't think like that. As Hepting looks to throw it up, is unsuccessful. Quickly is going to drive in and kick it right out. Then they're going to dish it right there.
Another just swish by Brandon Craig. Loyola can't be giving open looks to John Carroll like that because they'll make those all day.
And so here come the Dons.
Speaking of how John Carroll has those recruits, they were actually just on ESPN just last week in the Spalding Hoop Hall Classic, where they did lose, but they look good, especially in that tournament with teams like La Lumiere, Oak Hill, Montverde. These are top program teams at the high school basketball level, and John Carroll's right up there.
Montverde, as you said, definitely have produced some big name guys. Recently, you got Ben Simmons of the 76ers and D'Angelo Russell of the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
So here we go. Dons will take the ball out down low, get it immediately down to Cam Shaw. This is what they're going to try to do. You got to get Cam Shaw and JJ hot if you want a shot here. So Dons are going to miss that shot, attempt to get the rebound, come up just a little short.
And look at the speed and aggressiveness that John Carroll comes down the court with. They're sprinting down the court.
And the Dons there as John Carroll is going to get the ball, but the Dons well aware of the jump ball, get it, so it will be Loyola ball. Just absolutely crazy in this house right here. We have people in the student section standing on the side. We've run out of room.
It's certainly a high-intensity matchup, but we just saw that with Cam Shaw taking a dive, taking a tumble to go get the dive for the ball. That's a good aggressive play that allows them to get the ball back. That's certainly, it's not going on the stat sheet, but that's a play that you love.
So here they go down to Trillion Young. He's going to kick it back out to Brendan Fox. tries to get it down to Owen Reynolds, the junior. He and JJ, the smallest guys on the court. Owen Reynolds gets in with guys ranging about 6'3", 6'4" down there and gets the foul.
I'm certain that wasn't drawn up in practice like it just happened there. But you'll take that. 2 foul shots.
Definitely not always thinking as Owen Reynolds goes to the line for the Dons.
And that shows some pretty good intensity and the level of resolve that Loyola is showing. Sending a guy like Owen Reynolds into the paint like that, he's a smaller guy, and you go against Brandon Craig, standing about 6'5", 6'6". I mean, that shows some guts.
As Owen will take his second shot and miss it. Owen Reynolds, though, is a playmaker. Definitely has a lot of skill at the point, as John Carroll will miss the layup, but they're able to get the ball on the jump ball. It will stay with John Carroll. But Owen Reynolds, definitely a scrappier kid. Remember playing 8th grade basketball with him. Was definitely a playmaker at a good old St. Pius. So the John Carroll will miss another shot as the Dons get the rebound.
That's a missed little just hook jumper there by
Brendan
Cameron
Fox is
Byers.
just going to pull up and just off.
Again, John Carroll coming down the field, super aggressive, super intense, as they're able to just feed the ball right to Rob Goyena, the 6'4" senior, for the 3.
Definitely something the Dons have to look out for. Already down 14. We got 50 seconds left in the first quarter. Brendan Fox looking to pull up, and it's going to get stolen
He had him
away.
with the crossover there, and now in transition, John Carroll. A lot of contact on the way up.
Definitely. Nigel Houghton definitely looked like he was going to try for something fancy there. Not necessarily an alley-oop, but was definitely not going for your average
something to say. I
layup.
would have liked to see that. Little alley-oop action.
I would be. It's not every day you're watching high school basketball, you see an alley-oop. As Nigel will get his first one on the bounce.
Gets that lucky roll in there. That's going to extend John Carroll's lead to 15 in the first quarter. Certainly, definitely not the start Loyola wanted this early into the game.
So John Carroll will miss the second one. Both teams not particularly great free throw shooting tonight.
Wow.
While John Carroll's just gotten to the line a bunch, Cam Charles just saying, let her rip. Unable to get it. But the hustle play by the Dons disrupt it for a little bit.
And those foul shots are going to be crucial here in crunch time, especially for Loyola, because you're down on the scoreboard. John Carroll, they're outplaying you right now, so you got to get those free, easy points on the free throws. Loyola's been fouled 5 times, and Loyola repaying with 4 fouls. It's certainly a high-intensity fouling matchup here.
Definitely, as John Carroll will get the ball, get the bucket. JJ throws up a prayer, not able to get it. So, Dons down 22-5, end of the first quarter. We'll be right back with the start of the second quarter. And welcome back to Jerry Savage Court at Loyola Blakefield as the Loyola Dons trail the Patriots of John Carroll 22-5 going into the second quarter.
Yeah, and I'm sure Coach Davali, during the end of the quarter, certainly stressing you can't get discouraged this early in the game. There's still plenty of time left for a comeback. You can't get discouraged. Just keep playing how you've been playing. You know, Loyola's been, over the past couple games, they've won a good percentage of their last games. You got to looking to stay hot. Keep Loyola, keep your head up. You can't lose faith this early.
Definitely. And as we're going to see, Emmanuel Quickly, Montez Mathit, and Ismail all check back in. They were gone for about the final 3 minutes of the first quarter.
That's a good starting three. Certainly, John Carroll looking to just put it away this early.
Once again, the Dons will turn the ball over. As we said before the game, huge key for the Dons, limit the turnovers. You do not want to be out here throwing the ball around, giving John Carroll extra possessions. As Ismail will go in. Definitely a close call, definitely contact though.
Yeah.
They draw the foul.
And certainly Emmanuel Quigley's been analyzed by everybody from John Calipari to even Bill Walton. But scouting report from Emmanuel Quigley, he's a great outside shooter. But Loyola certainly looked to play to their strengths in the fact that Quigley is sort of average in those contested inside shots, average in inside the paint traffic plays. And I think that's what Loyola was trying to force them to do. But that's hard to do when you got guys like Brandon Craig and Cameron Byers, who are just huge 6'7" guys who can just get the ball over Chidnake.
So here we go. The Dons are going to get an open shot as they're unable to get both in as Connor Hepting misses the initial. Chidnake misses the tip. And here comes Quickly getting the ball, stolen from him originally. And now the Dons, here we go. There's the scrappiness you see of J.J. Hallaby. He'll draw. He will get the foul called on him, but you got to love the intensity.
And that's certainly what we just said about how Emmanuel Quigley drove down the field, tried to get it in the traffic, in the paint, and he just turned the ball over. That's not his strength. And you're the coach of John Carroll. You got to play to your players' strengths. You can't have Quigley just run the ball down low where that's not his strength. Put him on the arc because he's a great shooter.
So here come the Dons as the Patriots missed their first 2 threes of the possession. Quickly looked like he just wanted to get that. As we talked about earlier, as we get an alley-oop layup, definitely we're hoping.
That's just a great read by Quigley. It's a really good on-field, on-court awareness by him. It's a high basketball IQ to be able to see your open man and hit him with the alley-oop.
And then insult to injury as the Dons will immediately throw the ball away.
And
so Quickly sets up, looking to drive. This is what the Dons were kind of hoping to have him do. You want to get him in that mid-range where his slow jumper kind of becomes a factor.
And especially for Quigley's shot on the inside. His jumper, in analysis terms, it's a slow jumper. He needs more time and space than the average guy because his release point, sort of like Alonzo Ball, it's a low release point. So it's easier to be blocked, easier to be stolen. And he's going to need a little bit more space, which is why he's hesitated a little bit to get open looks. He's had, sort of quasi-open looks, but he's just turning them down.
J.J. Hallaby, 4-3, and the immediate turnover for John Carroll. This is where, if you are loyal, you need to capitalize. You need to score here. Get it back to 16 or 15 points and just keep close.
This is certainly a crucial couple of minutes for Loyola. This might determine a little bit of how this game goes. Loyola's still down by double digits. They need to get something going, a little run. And that's not how you start a run with a double dribble.
Definitely not. Definitely questionable as the ball did hit the ground, but double teamed. Hard for the ref to see that there. And here comes John Carroll again. So we're going to get the ball down to Mathis, down to Ismail, and then out for 3 to Quickly.
That's a rare miss from Quigley. A wide open look on the corner. Not quite, though. As John Carroll goes back to this full court press that was working so well for them in the opening minutes of the first quarter. And Loyola can't respond as they put up an air ball there.
Definitely not what you wanted. As they're going to get, wow, that is a close call. J.J. Hallaby. From here, it looked like he had his feet set. I'm not the one. Ref had the better angle, but it also helps being the number 12 player in the nation. Sometimes you get those calls.
You might get a call if you're the number 3 guy at your position.
Definitely.
Quigley's going to go to the line. And he's been good all year from free throws.
So here we go as Quickly looks to add to his night at the free throw line.
And the story so far in this game it's been about Emmanuel Quigley, but also the lesser guys are stepping up, like Cameron Byers and Brandon Craig. Those guys have had almost better nights than Mathis and Quigley tonight. Maybe that's by design. Maybe they're just sort of saying, hey, Loyola, it's a competitive matchup always, but maybe you want to feed the ball to guys you wouldn't normally do.
So here you go. Cam Shell's going to get the ball back up top for the Loyola Dons, down by 20. Not where you want it to be if you're a Loyola, but definitely still an opportunity as Cam Shell's going to throw up a prayer.
That's just a low percentage shot that should not have been taken by Cam Shaw there. Yeah,
Shot clock at 2 seconds, I understand. He had 15 seconds. You can't be taking that. That is just it's almost selfish. You want to be the guy who hits the big
hand was
shot.
right in his face. That's not a shot you want to take. That's got to be infuriating to a coach.
Yeah. Cam Shaw, definitely a top guy.
Throw it down, big fella.
As Montez Mathit on the feed from Quickly. And then we're going to get a kick ball, but definitely that's why we have 200-300 people here tonight, because they're coming from an alley-oop. They want to see the special stuff.
And that's got to be disheartening, really, to Loyola, and invigorating for John Carroll, to the already massive lead.
So here come the Dons, maybe looking to create something. You saw Chitnake getting close there. Maybe he and Shaw were thinking, hey, if you can oop it, we can too. But smart decision. Take the easy to us. Mathis from downtown is unable to get it. And the Dons are going to get.
That looked like a pretty clean steal from Chitnake.
Definitely.
The referee's seen something else.
They called Chit out of bounds. From my angle, I saw cord in between the out of bounds and Chit's shoe. That's just me. I'm not the one wearing the striped shirt. But definitely, ref calls.
That was one of the pretty few times that Montez Mathis has been the center of this game so far. He's been really sort of inactive tonight, not really playing to his strengths, as he is John Carroll's leading scorer with 26 points per game.
So there we go. John Carroll will miss another shot. Definitely not the best shooting night for John Carroll, which is surprising, as Connor Hepting gets the finger roll, and that gets this crowd excited.
That was an electric play, certainly firing up this Loyola student section.
Electric players make electric plays. The junior, he's been on varsity since his sophomore year. And now we got a timeout by John Carroll. Don's down 18, but that's certainly not what you would think by this crowd. They still believe in their boys.
Absolutely. And you, like we said, it was stressed at the beginning of the second quarter. You can't lose faith this early. Loyola still down by a lot, down by 18. But with electric plays like JJ's 3 earlier and Hepting's I'm not even, just a grown man play. It is invigorating to the student section.
So the Dons are down 30-12 with 3:37 left in the first half. However, it's still a lot of game to be played.
There is. And we talk about a lot of game left to be played. And you got to look at the fouls for both teams. A combined 12 fouls for Loyola and John Carroll. And it's the second quarter, so halfway through, that's still a lot of fouls early in, especially Loyola with 7.
For sure. So here we go. Ball in Emmanuel Quickly's hands. Definitely where John Carroll feels comfortable, as he's going to drive to lane, kick it right out, and there's going to be an air ball, but they're going to get the ball right back to Quickly.
And that was the first look for the 5'11 senior, Anthony Sagenti. But he just.
And there's Quickly drawing the foul. Hepting does not agree. Definitely a close call there. Could go either way once again.
But I think that's what John Carroll was sort of hoping for, was you keep Quigley on the arc, get him to shoot shots. Eventually, there's going to be a foul.
Definitely. So first of 3 for Quickly. And he's going to drain it, silencing the crowd.
That's a little Baker Mayfield-esque action there, dapping up the invisible players on the free throw line. That's bold.
That's a bold move. That's called number 12 player in the nation right there.
That says, hey, we're up by 20 points. What are you going to do?
Exactly. So Quickly adds to his night. Definitely something to look out for. Hey, if you're a big-time player, you can do that kind of stuff.
Dubem down low. Good ball movement by Loyola on that possession.
Loyola.
That's one of their first possessions where they've sort of had an open look, good ball movement, allow them to get the easy score.
Quickly, almost looked like he was calling for an ISO, trying to even out the court here, get some even numbers, and at this point, Quickly just wants
back and forth
he wants
passing.
ball in his hands.
And why wouldn't you? You're the number 3 point guard in the country. You're a great outside shooter, great all-around guard. As we see, what could have been a pretty nice assist there, turning it into an air ball, but it was some good passing. And a turnover there by Loyola, something that they stressed earlier that they did not want to have, is turnovers, and that's crucial to any game. And we saw,
sure,
even with Oklahoma and Trae Young had a fantastic game, but not 12 turnovers, and that's why they lost. Because you can't turn the ball over. Turnovers means a loss.
Definitely. You see so many times in any sport. In baseball, you have errors. Football, basketball, you have turnovers. Not what you want to do. You want to keep the ball as long as you can. Make the plays you're supposed to make.
9 times out of 10, the team that is lower in the turnover margin is going to win the game.
As we see right there, Cameron Byers is going to miss the layup. And here we go. Do we have an oop?
No.
No, we don't. Definitely some disappointing looks from his own teammates there. They wanted an alley-oop.
And that shows how effective the John Carroll double team on Cam Shaw and the aggressive level of play that Loyola just can't respond to. They're double teaming their guards. They're running a full court press, and there's nothing Loyola can do.
Definitely has to say something, though, about Loyola's Cameron Shaw. He's the only guy they're double teaming. Definitely shows respect to him.
As he's going to get fouled again.
On the floor foul, so we will have – there's a minute 30 left. Don's down 21 points, 35-14. If I'm coach, you're thinking to yourself, okay, John Carroll in these final minutes, limit them to 1 or 2 points, get the score to 20. Make it a 15-point game.
Start shooting, get to the arc, shoot up them threes, give it to guys like Shaw and JJ, who are dependable three-point shooters, who you know can get it in.
So here we go as they are going to make their first shot. He will get one more. Brandon Craig at the line.
Brandon Craig is not showing as much bravado as his teammate Quigley was. He's not dapping up the invisible free throw line guys.
So here we go as he's going to make both. And then we're going to get a substitution as Montez Mathis will come in the game for Craig.
As we mentioned before, Montez Mathis is number 93 on the ESPN 100, 16 as the shooting guard in his position. And he's going to Rutgers next year to be under Coach Steve Pike-Yell, the former coach at Stony Brook, who had a pretty good run.
So here we go as Cam Shaw's going to miss the open three. And the Patriots are going to get the ball with 1:10 left in the first half.
And Montez Mathis, actually, for Rutgers, he's the highest recruited Rutgers commit since Kadeem Jack, who, not a very well-known player, but he's in the Miami Heat G League right now.
Good foul there if you're Connor Hepting. Don't give him that. Make him earn his stripes at the line.
It was a good foul. It was a good way to not certainly eliminate any chance of a three-point play. But Loyola, they're creeping into foul trouble. 10 fouls.
Yaviz Goltakin, obviously probably not saying that right, goes to the line. He's going to miss his first.
I don't think free throw shooting is Yavuz Goltakin's strength. The form just sort of looked off. It sort of looked iffy there.
Definitely. So here we go. Tries to salvage at least 1 point in the game. He's going to get it. Put John Carroll up 38-14. 24-point game.
And this shows the intensity and how bad John Carroll wants to win this game. They're up big, and they're still running the full court press this late in the second quarter. That shows that even though they're up big, they're not giving up anything. They're not growing complacent whatsoever.
So there's Dubem Nake Jr. putting it down. Pretty much no shot clock. There's a difference by about 1 second. So here we go.
And the Patriots just sort of running out the clock here. About a 1 second difference between shot and game clock.
So here comes John Carroll, just trying to get it all out.
Montez Mathis showing off a little move, showing off a little creativity. Little
So the
Allen
Don-
Iverson type
The
crossover.
Patriots will get that there. Gonna put it up. And 4-3.
Oh my gosh!
He's gonna hit the three.
And that's gonna count. What a big shot.
John Carroll goes into the half, up 43-16 on your Loyola Dons. Definitely a lot to talk about if you're the Dons. So we right back at Jerry Savage Court, where the Dons trail the Patriots big. Welcome back to Jerry Savage Court at Loyola Blakefield. Alongside Hayden Young, I'm Zach Bollinger. The Dons come into the second half down big, 43-16. Definitely trailing by a big margin. Not where you wanted to be if you were the Dons. Give us a quick recap of the first half, Hayden.
So we got some first half stats. Obviously, John Carroll up big. Their stats going to be a little bit better than Loyola's. Yavuz Gultkin with 10 points, leading scorer for John Carroll. Surprising that it's not Montez Mathis or Emmanuel Quigley. Quigley with 8 points. Interesting to note, though, 5 of those 8 points are from fouls. And that shows how Loyola sort of getting into that foul range as Connor Hepting and J.J. Hallaby both in foul trouble with 3 fouls in the first half.
Speaking of J.J., JJ's going to turn the ball over there. Montez Mathis, he tried to throw it down there.
Try to throw it down, send a statement that Loyola is not coming back into it. But it's a good foul by Hepting, but maybe not Hepting. Hepting wasn't the guy that you wanted to foul there.
So it's his
he had
fourth.
3 fouls in the first half. That's his 4th now.
Not where you want it to be if you're Loyola. So here comes Dubem knocking. We're assuming for Connor Hepting. And there it is. Connor Hepting will be taken out of the game.
And he's upset. No player wants to be
upset.
taken out. Especially, he's had a few really just stellar grown man plays in the paint. And just because you're in foul trouble, you get taken out. That's not something you want as a player.
So Mathis is going to miss his 2nd in a row. But we got a lane violation on the Dons. That's just some mental mistakes.
That's just a mental error that can't happen for the Dons down this big. You can't have mental lapses like that.
You can't. This is just not what you wanted to do.
And Mathis, surprisingly, the overall leading scorer for John Carroll throughout their season. Tonight, he's only got 5 points.
So here come the Dons. Kind of pass it into the middle of nowhere there. And you definitely see the pressure John Carroll's putting on as we got an alley-oop to the leading scorer, and he cannot put it down, but he'll put that one down.
That's just Loyola needs to maybe call a timeout here, talk something over. That's a turnover that just should not have happened that allowed John Carroll to get 3 points.
Close backcourt call there. John Carroll will not get it. So here we go. J.J. Hallaby, 1v1 with Emmanuel Quigley. Definitely not the matchup the Dons would like every time down the court. But when J.J. gets hot as he takes a 3, J.J. gets hot.
That was a good play. It was some good ball movement by J.J. to really get off Quigley initially. Because great response by John Carroll on that 3.
Nigel Houghton with the 3.
Like we were saying, Quigley was guarding J.J. on that, and Quigley, a very good defender, almost like Gary Payton on the Sonics from the 90s, the glove, one of the greatest point guard defenders of all time. And it's easy for Quigley to be that good at defending with a 6'8" wingspan as a guard.
Definitely. You look at 6'3" height, and you're thinking, okay, he's an average-sized guard. 6'8" wingspan. Yeah. There are some centers out there in the NBA who've got 6'8" wingspans.
Yeah. It's certainly impressive. And his height is only 6'3". And so he's an average height for a point guard. But with that 6'8" wingspan, that's certainly setting him apart. Definitely part of the reason why Coach Cal picked him up for the Wildcats.
Definitely. We got someone with that big a wingspan. He can snatch the ball out of pretty much anywhere.
And defensively, he's been pretty good tonight. But he still has something to work on. Get those fundamentals a little bit better. Put him as a more sound fundamental defender.
And as we said before, when J.J. Hallaby gets hot, J.J. Hallaby gets hot. Yeah. This is one of those players where John Carroll, yes, as they're going to get an offensive foul, the charge called right there. Dons down by a lot. There's no question about it, 27.
But
feed JJ.
If you keep exactly, if you keep giving the ball to J.J. Hallaby, who's been 2 for 2 so far in the second half from the 3-point arc, maybe you'll be able to get back into the game, get something going.
And here we go down to Cameron Shaw, and they're going to get it off on John Carroll right there, off on Montez. So there we go. Little extracurricular talking after that.
Yeah.
It's the high intensity.
I like that. I like that little exchange there for the Patriots and the Dons.
Exactly.
Shows just how intensive a matchup this is.
So here we go as the Dons look for a little alley-oop pitch of their own. They're going to get the foul on Ismail.
And that's a good foul for Chid because he sort of realized midway into that, hey, I'm not really going to be able to post up on him. He's a bigger guy than I am. But he was able to say, hey, if I go up, chances are he's going to foul me, and that's exactly what happened.
That's what you want. You want to force John Carroll to foul you as Loyola continues to struggle from the line. But the big thing for Loyola right now, and what they've done well all day, quickly is not beating them. If you're the Dons, you are fine with others beating you. You didn't want quickly to beat you.
Certainly nothing so far yet adding to his highlight reel. But
you could probably throw that alley-oop pass he had as J.J. Hallaby pulls that off, and the Dons are going to get the and one. That was you can't draw that up.
That was a pretty play by Loyola, especially from Dubem, not able to just scoop that up.
That's the always reliable behind the back dribble, hit it off your foot, have it hit off two defenders who are on the ground and get the and one.
That was a sexy play. If he held on to it, that might have been Sports Center.
Definitely. That's one of those things where, like the alley-oop, just in your head it happens. You're thinking, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
Looks like Ismail Kadir is going to check out for Cameron Byers, who's had a pretty good night tonight. Stats might not show it, but he's been really effective defensively and offensively, getting guys open, locking down his defender.
So here we go. Dubem Nake at the line.
And this is something Loyola needs to get going. From the line, they've been in the line. They've had a few trips in the first half, and now they've been fouled 3 times in the second, but they really haven't executed the way they want to at the free throw line.
So here comes the Patriots as Montez will shoot from downtown. And here comes J.J. Hallaby. He's going to get the foul.
And Montez Mathis really hasn't been having the night he's wanted tonight. He's only had 5 points. He had a 3 there. It was a high percentage shot. It was a good shot selection. Not able to go in. But certainly Loyola's done a good job of keeping him contained, keeping him from getting hot, as we all know he's able to do.
Definitely. As we talked to Coach earlier, this is a guy who, if he gets hot, he'll drop 30 on you in a blink of an eye. As Chidnake.
Some post moves from the big fella.
You got the Dons. You got to give it to them. They're down, but they're not out.
Oh. Certainly still playing with that same fight that they came into the game with that makes this game such a good matchup. Even though the score might not show it, this game, it's still extremely intense and aggressive. John Carroll, like we see, John Carroll still running that almost 3-quarter press, keep Loyola on its toes.
So here come the Dons down the court looking to make something happen. As you got JJ on quickly once again. JJ is going to drive inside.
That's not the look you wanted. Double teamed by 2 guys who are much taller than you are. Maybe just try to pass it away.
You got to think there. You're thinking draw the foul. Didn't get the call. As here come the Dons. As they're not going to get the call or the bucket there. Definitely some contact. It's been the tale of 2 halves for both teams, and especially the refs. Refs early on, you got within 2 feet of someone, they're blowing the whistle. Now we're seeing some contact. They're letting the boys play out there.
And I like that. It allowed them to, like you said, allow them to play, allow the intensity to keep feeding.
So here we go as the Dons will get the ball.
And it looks like Loyola is adapting well to the press that they weren't able to do so well in the first half. But now it looks like they've figured out a way to get past that 3-quarter full court press.
As now we got tensions are high as we have definitely a scrum. Dorian Woody. He and Chidnake were getting in it there. That was some mano-y-mano stuff.
Some more extracurricular activities. That reminds me a little like the Rockets-Clippers feud.
I don't think anyone will be sneaking in Loyola's locker room after the game today.
Call up the Baltimore County Police Department for that.
So here John Carroll will get the ball coming up the court with a 24-point lead. And you're starting to hear it in the crowd too, as now John Carroll's fans they're starting their own little chants. Definitely trying to one up the Dons.
You gotta admire. I was just gonna say, you gotta admire that student section for staying fired up. It looked like what was almost gonna be an N1 was actually turned into an offensive foul.
Definitely a shocker there. And as you said, the student section, that little extracurricular stuff happened right in front of the Don student section. So Woody wisely backed off.
Yeah.
Probably thinking.
You never wanted to get anything like that. It looks bad for both you, for the team, and for who you're representing ultimately is the school.
As we're going to get a push in the back. But definitely something the Dons will take every time down the court. You give JJ an open three. If I'm Loyola, if you're telling me going into a game, every other possession, JJ's going to be shooting high contest, high percentage threes, I'm taking that.
And JJ, as a defender here, is playing, as Anthony Sacchetti was taking it up, he was playing really aggressive. He was playing beyond the arc as a defender, playing maybe Loyola taking a page out of John Carroll's book to play more aggressive on defense. Run maybe a half-court press, three-quarter press.
So here we are as the John Carroll Patriots get the ball. They're going to go down low, looking to make something happen. And they're going to go down low. And we got another charge on the Patriots as Cameron Byers is going to get it. You have to admit, going into this, Loyola wasn't looking too shabby. They've outscored John Carroll in the second half. And then we have a kick ball violation on the Patriots. So Loyola's going to keep possession.
And I think that outscoring is a little bit because John Carroll has stepped back on that aggressiveness. As in the first half, in the first quarter, they dropped 22. Second quarter, they dropped 21. And Loyola only 5 and 11 respectively.
So here we go. The big man getting up there.
He threw it down there.
There you have it. The Dons giving their fans something to cheer about as Woody's going to get the ball.
And it looks like John Carroll this is their
and
second.
There's going to be a jump ball. It's going to stay with John Carroll, but you love the aggressiveness.
It looks like John Carroll here sort of setting in their second team. They're not putting in the stars Quigley, Mathis, and Ismail Kadir. They're not playing those guys right now. Maybe give them a little rest, send them back in later.
And then we have another charge drawn by that is 3 in the last 4 possessions. Definitely something John Carroll's got to be thinking.
And Chidnake's taking those all day. He's been getting beat up the last couple.
Taking it like a champ. That's called a team player. And as we say that John Carroll's putting some of the number 2s in, they bring out the star player once again as Quickly and Ismail right back on the court. There you see the height coming in for John Carroll.
And that's that aggressiveness, that high-intensity full-court press that John Carroll's been running that really overall Loyola hasn't been able to adequately respond to.
So they're going to get the ball in right to J.J. Hallaby.
They're double-teaming, and Loyola here should be maybe setting a screen, free up J.J., but they're not.
As they're going to get the foul, but Chid comes down a little awkwardly. He's definitely something the Dons are going to have to.
Landed awkwardly. Looks like he messed up his left calf there.
That's definitely a cramp as they're asking for water.
Certainly not something you want to see, especially with Chid, who, as of the third quarter, has been really hot. He's been stepping up, becoming in as a leader. Certainly the opposite of what you want for the Dons.
All right, so the Dons will sub in Cameron Shaw to shoot the free throws. So Shaw will get the free throws for Nake.
And it looks like Mitch Fisher is going to check in for Chid as the substitute. They definitely want to get Chid healed up quick as possible, get him back in the game because he has been a leader as of in part of the second half.
So here comes Cameron Shaw with the first, and it's going to be just short. Cameron
And
Shaw, not what you want
That's been the
to
story
see.
all night. It's just missed free throw, 1 for 2 free throws. It's especially Loyola they've been fouled as much as they have. They've not been able to execute effectively at the free throw line.
And there, the Dons bring it within 21. So here we go, as the Dons will look to put them up there. And there's a offensive rebound and the call. So John Carroll will go right back to the line.
That again on the three-pointer was Yavuz Gultkin, who was at the half John Carroll's leading scorer, and I believe it still is.
Definitely, he's put up about
points.
4 more points in the first. So there we go, as Ismail will go to the line, hit his first. So there we go. We just saw Chinake come by us, starting to stretch it out, get a little
back on his
loose,
feet.
try to get that back in.
Kadir Ismail, who was just shooting those free throws, definitely, you might have heard mentioned before, going to go play football next year for the Villanova Wildcats. It's a quarterback. That's pretty interesting how he's able to transition those skills onto the basketball court.
Definitely got it. He's a dual threat quarterback. Loyola played him this year in a tough loss at the hands of the Patriots, 13-10. Great game all around by both teams. So now John Carroll there's going to be a foul on the floor. John Carroll will get the ball back. 1:18 remaining in the third quarter, up by 23.
The story of the first half was Loyola getting into foul trouble. They had about 10 at the end. And now, even only in the third quarter, John Carroll has 8 team fouls.
So definitely something you want to look out for if you're the Patriots. You don't want to get into foul trouble, because even though you're up big, as we go see quickly,
another just a defensive lapse at Loyola. You can't, especially quickly, you cannot leave him open under any circumstances. He's too dangerous.
You can't let quickly get those, as we are going to get a call or a missed shot hit off the top. That's going to be Patriots ball.
Student section there was looking for the call from the referee for contact on the way up.
Definitely.
No such call.
As we said earlier, refs definitely letting them play. And at this point, if you're the Dons, usually you're preaching quality over quantity for shots. You're starting to get towards that point in the game when you're like, even if you see the tiniest windows, let her rip. As
you're
John
down big.
Carroll will get the and one.
You're down big. It's the third quarter. It's just about closing in on the third quarter. Going to be the start of the fourth quarter in 37 seconds. You got to start drawing something up at the timeout, drawing something up at the end of the quarter. Get shots. Don't have to necessarily all be quality shots. Just get something up there.
Definitely, as John Carroll will go back to the free throw line. Definitely a story of the night is they've been able to capitalize. Definitely have outscored the Dons by at least 10 to 12 points at the free throw line alone.
And Yavuz Gultkin has been the story of tonight. Not Quigley or Mathis, but this guy, he's a little bit under the radar player. But he's the leading scorer, and I want to say he's also the leading rebounder for the Patriots tonight.
For sure, and as the Patriots look to just waste the clock out, they're going to get the ball right to Quigley, who's going to pass it off to Montez Mathis, right back to Quigley. Just trying to waste some time.
But now he's being guarded by J.J. Hallaby here. Significant, you want to say a mismatch, but J.J. shown that he could play with him on defense tonight.
So the Dons will go into the fourth quarter down 28. We'll be right back with the start of the fourth quarter. And welcome back to Jerry Savage Court at Loyola Blakefield alongside Hayden Young. I'm Zach Bollinger. As the Dons are down by 28. JJ gets right up, scoring early. John Carroll looking to respond immediately, but to no avail as the Dons will get the ball, trying to make literally anything happen. Montez Mathis will get the foul called on him, came up from behind on JJ.
And Montez Mathis had an off night tonight.
Definitely not what we were expecting.
No.
You know, coming in, averaging 26 points a game.
No.
You were thinking this was going to be the Quickly Mathis show, but definitely not what it's been.
And it is such a dynamic duo between Mathis and Quigley. And not just the fact that Mathis is averaging 26 points a game, he's also averaging about 9 rebounds per game, almost averaging a double-double, and he's shooting 40%. So, as you mentioned before, he is going to Rutgers. But certainly not a scholarship night tonight from him.
Definitely not. Definitely not what they were hoping for out of the 93rd overall recruit in the nation. What I think we forgot to mention is earlier this week, Quickly was named to the McDonald's All-American.
He was. And a snub, I think, for Sharif O'Neal.
Sharif O'Neal quickly got in over the great Shaquille O'Neal's son, so something definitely to keep in mind. And
I think there must have been a mistake there in the algorithm. I'm not sure how that's a snub. That's a definite snub.
Definite snub, but definitely huge for Quickly.
Certainly boosting not only his college stock, but in the long run, maybe his draft stock as well. You think a lot of guys from Kentucky only go one and done, two and done.
Definitely.
Maybe that's in the future for Quigley.
For sure. You look at this guy, do you think maybe NBA in 2 years as John Carroll will drain a three?
Nigel Houghton, I believe that's his first points of the game.
So here comes
the lead.
The Dons looking to make anything happen here. Down by 30. Cam Shaw, ball was definitely tipped right to Shaw, who's going to miss the shot.
That was a good work by Cam Shaw, though, to get the rebound, to get physical. He wasn't able to go in, but he was pretty physical there, showing that certainly the Dons still aren't out of this fight mentally.
Definitely. And you got to think 6.5 minutes left, down by 30, but you also have to think about the community here at Blakefield. Still have pretty much the whole student section here. And we talk a lot about Ismail going to Villanova for quarterback, and we've got our own D1 football player sitting in the
Temple.
Stands over there. Evan Boozer, a Temple commit.
He's going to go follow his brother Cole Boozer, also went to Temple.
And that's the kind of stuff you love about Loyola, as John Carroll will make their first free throw, is you got a D1 athlete coming out to a varsity basketball game to support his brothers.
And they're still here. You certainly never want to be like a 28-3 Super Bowl occurrence where a lot of Patriots fans, I'm sure they left that game.
And I'm sure a lot of Patriots fans regret leaving that game. So here comes Connor Hepting down the court.
Looks like that should have been a travel there.
Definitely. I think the refs are just trying not to stop the clock.
Keep Loyola in it.
As Hepting's going to make another move.
Because he tried to get a foul called there for a push, but no such.
So tip pass there by the Dons. Definitely look to get a turnover there, but right into the hands of John Carroll. So here come Quickly with 2 missed shots, and then you're going to get
really good defensive play there from Chid up until the foul, where again Chid involved in some extracurriculars.
Definitely. Quickly, Chid, that was a hard foul. That was not. Yeah. He didn't play the ball at all. He just grabbed Quickly. Quickly didn't appreciate it. He He wants to just play some ball, and
And
can't blame him.
he's showing that he can play some ball. Had a really good night tonight.
Definitely
Been really good from the free throw line, which a majority of his points have come from the free throw line.
Definitely not what we were expecting from Quickly. You think number 12 recruit in the nation as he hits his first one. Think of the number 12 recruit in the nation. You're thinking, man, this kid's coming in, dropping 50 on everyone.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. Held him to around 15 points.
Oh.
And if you're the Loyola coaching staff, if you're told going in the game, Manuel Quickly's only putting up 15 points.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm thinking that Loyola's thinking they got a shot to win the game.
We do have to remember, though, Quigley, not really that shooting guard like some guys like Westbrook and Kyrie are. Sort of definitely shooting is their main aspect. Quigley, definitely more of an all-around guard. He's there in rebounds, assists, steals, and certainly points. He's putting up 20 points a game, but he's more than just a shooter.
Definitely something he's got to work on at Kentucky is his playmaking ability. John Calipari doesn't want a player who's just going to shoot the ball, so that's why you think he goes after guys like Quickly. Someone like last year, De'Aaron Fox, someone who can go out there and create for others. He doesn't need to make the flashy plays, doesn't need to be dropping 30 a game. Go out there, distribute the ball, make plays for others.
Be an intelligent basketball player.
Definitely. And something that Quickly's going to have to learn is when you get to the NCAA Division I, game speeds up. And as J.J. Hallaby gets the bucket full, but Quickly's going to have to deal with his court vision. Definitely doesn't – he's got great vision, but definitely room for improvement.
Coach Cal will teach him right up, especially on defense. Quigley, he has the potential to be one of the best defenders out there with that 6'8" wingspan. Certainly not really showing it in high school right now. But when you get to that collegiate level, access to a little bit better coaching, a little more individual attention, certainly has the potential to be one of the best defenders in college.
As Cameron Shaw knocks down the three, John Carroll will take a timeout, up 69-40 with 4:13 left in regulation. Definitely not where the Dons want to be at this point, but you got to give it to them for sticking it out. Yeah. Definitely easily could have thrown in the reserves, been like, okay, game over, take a loss by 90 points, but they're sticking in there.
They've never lost heart, which is an admirable aspect for any sport, especially, we know with Loyola football, not the greatest season that they had, but through all of it, managed to stick to the games, play with heart until the very last whistle.
For sure. It's one of those things where you can't lose heart in these games. These are the games where you build your team's heart. It's going out there down by 29 with 4 minutes left it's not easy. No. Because while you want to be out there at the same time, you just want to go home. You're like, this game is over.
Put it behind us, put it to rest, forget about it. Maybe, though, for Coach Tavalli and the Dons going into the rest of the season, saying, hey, don't forget this night. Don't ever forget what happened tonight. Use it as motivation for the next game. The next time, maybe you're not playing these guys, but your next opponent.
Definitely. And something to look out for is Loyal right here. Draw up simple plays. A lot hasn't gone right for the Dons tonight, as John Carroll will break the 70 mark there with that bucket. Not a lot's been going right for the Dons. No. Draw up simple plays, get a few layups, maybe hit a couple mid-ranger, get some momentum, make something happen just a little.
And it looked like they were having that in the third quarter. Third quarter by far has been the Dons' best quarter in terms of points and just overall quality of play.
And there's J.J. Hallaby pulling up. He's going to miss it.
It's a good pull-up mid-range. Really good defense by Quigley. Able to get the ball back.
As it's going to hit a John Carroll player, as Ismail will roll out of bounds while touching the ball. Dons will retain possession with 28 seconds left on the shot clock.
That was a good defensive rebound by Dubem Nake, but an even better defensive play from Emmanuel Quigley, able to just strip that ball, just peck it right out of his hands. It does result in Loyola getting the ball back, but certainly prevented an easy layup from Dubem.
So Quigley will leave the game. Probably the last time we will see him on Loyola's court. As JJ, At some point, you got
something
to get that defender a map if he's trying to stick with JJ like that.
Definitely could have been one for the highlight reel, but not quite. A nice little hook from Ismail Kadir. Give him his first points of the quarter. Kadir Ismail.
And JJ with the and one. So you got to give it to him. Like we said earlier, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog, and JJ Hallaby's fighting.
He is. And he's been – in the first quarter we saw glimpses. He was 2 for 2 for threes. That sort of, became a little stagnant into that second quarter. But now he's certainly not only showing it as a force for scoring points, but also
and JJ with
steals.
the steal. And they're going to get the foul right there as Anthony Sacchenti with the foul. JJ Hallaby doing it all for Loyola right now.
He's becoming not just a force for scoring and for steals, but also for heart for this Loyola team.
Definitely. When you think heart of Loyola basketball, you think JJ Hallaby.
And that's been key from Loyola this year, with a lot of guys, a lot of seniors, and senior leadership certainly becoming a key for juniors and underclassmen like Hepting, who are going to be taking that mantle next year. Need
Definitely.
to learn, set a good example for the guys when you're not going to be here next year.
Definitely. You got JJ, Cameron Shaw, Chid Nake, all not coming back next year, graduating.
And those are key losses for the Dons. But they do have good, fresh talent from Hepting, from Dubem Nake, from Choi Young. These are guys that can certainly step up when needed and especially lead the team as seniors next year.
Definitely. Last year, the big loss was Kenny Lewis. Now going up on the leaderboard all-time for Loyola scoring. Definitely a huge loss. Broke over 1,200 points.
Yeah. Certainly a career for Kenny Lewis, and especially he'll always be remembered for that last-second shot against Calvert Hall last year. Hard to forget that.
Never forget. Goes down as one of the greatest moments in Loyola sports history. Heard it right here on LBN.
Did.
So here come the Dons looking to create something.
Looks like they give the ball to Mitch Fisher. He's going to take it in. Get some of his first looks. Gets an unlucky roll on a nice jump hook.
So John Carroll's going to look to make something happen right here.
Now Montez Math is going to take it from the arc. Feed it down low inside. And a foul called. It's going to be a foul on Mitch Fisher, who checked in for Chid earlier after Chid went down with that little knee calf injury. But
yeah.
Chid hasn't checked. He hasn't really been the same since that.
Definitely something to keep an eye on, as Ismail will miss the first free throw. And here come off the Don starters as they're going to send him to a huge ovation from the crowd. They know what these boys have been fighting all night.
They played with heart for the entire game. They never gave up. And in comes the second team.
So now the Dons down 76-45, just over 2 minutes remaining.
And for Loyola, these are some of the guys that you're going to see next year. Owen Reynolds certainly going to take some leadership as one of those leading guards. Aiden Thomas going to take the role as the big man. Maybe work on him a little bit, get him bulked up, get the size, transition to him being the big man leader.
Aiden's also got some range to him. Definitely a big guy, can expand the court. Definitely someone Loyola's got to be excited about. As Montez Mathis.
Oh, he almost put him in a poster there.
That was some Sports Center type stuff. If that goes down,
man,
I'm not sure what we would even say. That's some NBA Russell Westbrook type stuff. And Montez Mathis
and he was fouled there, so he does go to the line.
He goes to the line. That's the kind of dunk where you can take the defender's man card.
Yes. And certainly take the hope and will and heart out of any team even Loyola.
So Mathis goes looking for his second.
He's 2 for 2.
So with 1:49 left, the Dons down by 33 points.
And this one goes in and all, just waiting on the Dons, really just waiting on the final whistle to be blown. They know they can't win this one, but they know what they can do is learn from this loss, take it into the next one.
So Owen Reynolds trying to make something happen there. John Carroll throws the ball away. So the Dons will regain possession down by 33. 91 seconds left in regulation.
You know, and at this point for any team, if you're in Loyola's situation, you want to play for pride here. You're not playing to win, but you're playing for pride. You're playing to keep that intensity going. Maybe work on something that you drew up in practice. Maybe get like a set play going, see how that works against a good John Carroll team.
As Owen's going to get the foul, draw the foul, he'll go to the line. And something here that you got to look at is get the Dons under 30 points. So while we're the ones on the mic, we do have a lot of people to thank. We have Connor and Joe have been working this camera in front of us. Adam Logue has been hitting the full court camera, and Matt Moore is our producer. We're the ones who are on. We're the ones who are on the mic, but without them, none of this can really happen.
Certainly a huge thank you to those guys. As not just the student section stuck through the whole game, but they have too. They haven't abandoned their post just yet.
Of course. And it's one of those hard games. You know, down by this much, it can get a little difficult to stick in and film the same stuff over and over, but that's the dedication we have here at LBN. But definitely a fun game.
It looks like John Carroll also has their second team in, as they're going to get some guys. But they're going to be called for a 3-second violation. Certainly a rookie mistake for Foster Anderson.
So here come the Dons. 48 seconds left. Owen Reynolds. Definitely some contact there. Refs are going to let him play.
And that's a nice little floater there. Certainly, like we said before, work on something that you normally do in a game. Run a set piece, run something that you've been chalking up in practice, see how it transitions in the game scenario.
John Carroll not giving up either. As up by 29, they steal the ball with 25 seconds left. Definitely.
Maybe they're wondering if it comes down to a championship run, if a point differential comes into it.
Point depth
maybe.
For sure. I'm not too sure if I'm the coach, if I'm sending my players out to steal a ball up by pretty much 30 with 20 seconds left. But
that's the intensity and aggressiveness that John Carroll has played with all game, and that they have not stopped, even up big like they are now.
So Dons looking to score one last time.
Owen Reynolds looked like he was going to take a 3 there.
And John Carroll
turns
with
the ball over.
7 seconds left.
They're going to run out this clock.
So both benches come to their feet as the final buzzer goes. Final score, the Patriots of John Carroll 78, your Loyola Dons 49. Tough loss for the Dons, but definitely they'll be right back at it next time trying to overcome this.
And as always, I'm Hayden Young alongside Zach Bollinger. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.